For this challenge, you're going to need a length of rope. I have a bunch of these because I do this all the time with my groups. This is 3/8 inch, kind of a haul line that I get at a hardware store, but it's nice working with a smaller rope. If you don't have a rope around, you can definitely, I'm sure you have some sort of shoelace that's long enough. And usually a hiking boot that maybe goes above the ankle, but usually you can get a shoelace to work as long as make sure you don't tie. This is not a slip knot, so it doesn't go down on your wrist and cause any sort of problems on your wrist. So just be careful with that. So you need to find yourself a piece of rope that you can use. Hello Team Builder and welcome back to Challenge Week. This is the 17th of April. This is Fun Doing Friday. And all of the challenges have been posted at fundoing.com/blog. And if you haven't seen the other challenges, go and check out that the descriptions. We got some more details about each one of the challenges. But our whole theme this week was about learning skills, gaining ability, skills and ability in something that may be new to you or challenging, and then using those skills and abilities in a different way, in a different context, with more people, with another challenge that you can use those skills with. In this final challenge in day 5, we're going to do a little variation of what some people may know as the almost infinite circle, where you have these on your wrists and then you're connected with someone else. You've probably seen this happen before. This is another way to do it where you could work on this yourself and then try to teach others to be proficient at this new skill. So for this one, before you start, you have to tie an overhand knot in the rope. Tying an overhand, just a simple overhand knot, and then put it on. But the idea now is to get out, to untie this knot with those same rules. You can't take these off. You can't untie the knot. You can't chew the knot apart or cut it or whatever you want to do. You ought to be able to untie this knot without taking this off. All right? If you do know almost infinite circles, or sometimes people call them handcuffs or shackles, it's the same principle. So you now have some prior knowledge that you can transfer to this situation that might help you out. So consider that. If you know it, use that information that you know to try and figure your way out of this knot. If you're brand new to it, it's a little tricky. This is not easy. And once you practice and try things and eliminate possibilities, then eventually you'll get to an answer. At this point, what I'll do is I'll wait a couple seconds. And if you don't want to see the answer, stop the video now and then come back to it later. But practice. Give this challenge a try. All right? Okay, we're going to wait a couple seconds. Give that little space in the video. All right, we good? Okay, we're going to take that loop. And we're going to take the closest bend, whatever, if you pull these that kind of look like a pretzel, I'm going to take this closest bend, and I'm going to get some room, and I'm going to put this over my hand, and then over this loop on my wrist, under, pull it out, and there you go. The knot has disappeared. Okay? Want to see that again? All right. Tie a knot in there. Get ready. Remember, look for the pretzel. Take the closest loop to the wrist that you're going to go over, and you completely go over your wrist or your hand, over your wrist underneath that loop, and then pull enough slack. Be careful not to hurt your wrists or do any rope burns, and let it slide through. And you undo. Cool. All right, now the second challenge, once you understand that, let's go to the second challenge. All right, the second part of this challenge. And before I share that, let me give you a little caveat. I have been, especially with this challenge, I showed you how I learned how to do it. There might be other ways to solve getting the knot out of the rope. So you can, if you're trying to follow my version and it's not working for you, you at least get the idea and then you find what works for you. There might be other ways to solve it. I'm not sure. I've learned one way, and that's one way I know. That's another way of learning is if someone else shows you a different way, then there's multiple ways to solve the same problem, which we know about that in team building. So keep that in mind. I just want to give you a caveat. I'm showing you the way I do it. And with this challenge, I'm also going to give you a little heads up. I'm not going to show you how to solve it. So this is going to be true experiential education. If you are stuck and you really need an answer to this because you cannot find it, I'm going to kind of push you to that edge of see if you can reverse engineer getting the knot out. How do you then put it back in? Challenge yourself to learn that. Challenge yourself to figure it out because that's the way I had to do it. I had to figure it out. So I have a way that I can do it and I see how it's done. And that's what I'm challenging you to do. But if you do need an answer, we can get in a Zoom call and I can show you how that goes. But once you got your knot out, correct? The idea is to put the knot back in. That's the second challenge. Put the knot back in. And to show you that, I'll do a little bit. You might pick up some things from me. I put a little loop in here. And then there's a visual that I need to see for myself before I continue. And then I go over the hand, right? Now remember, it was over the wrist, then under, so we have to reverse engineer. I go under and back over, which then puts the knot back into the rope. All right, you might have seen a little bit, but there's a visual that helps me to make sure I get this outcome because I did it a couple different ways that ended up with no knot. So there is a little something you need to do about turning the rope, twisting the rope over, under sort of a thing. But there's your final challenge, almost 6 challenges this week to figure out how to get the knot back in the rope. If you join me through the entire week in trying these challenges, thanks so much for joining us. My hope is that you can use these with your groups and teach your family and friends. It's always kind of fun to do things that are a little bit out of the ordinary with people and teach them what you know. It's what we love. It's why we're educators. It's why we're team builders. We do this kind of stuff to just see how we can stretch ourselves. So keep going, keep challenging yourself. And don't forget fundoing.com/blog. If you look up what it's going to be, it's going to be April Challenge Week, might be the title, April Challenge Week. You can find all the details for all the challenges and ways to contact me or comment on these challenges and communicate with us. Take care of yourself, be well, and keep us posted.